We are back in the land of trucking and in particular heavy haulage. This time we have a model from Heavy Haul Replicas, and in fact not just one version of it or two versions, but in fact three. They are in the colours of De Berardinis, Sid Camp and black with gold pinstripes.
Let's weigh it up.
Let's put one onto the weighbridge and it comes in at roughly 1 pound 4 ounces, which is 565 grams. It says on the box do not use blades to open, so we'll use a knife instead, and we'll ever so carefully cut the tape that seals the box. Just look at the surgeon-like precision being employed here. With the tapes cut, we can open the shipping carton and see what's inside. And what's inside is a typical Heavy Haul Replicas black box, and it's got the Rogers name on it. And that's because the model inside is a Rogers 90-ton beam trailer. If we open this box up, we can pull out the usual pair of trays. And as you can see, they are sealed with tape. There's an instruction sheet in a bag on the top, and we need to get out our knife to cut the tapes. With that done, we can lift the lid and see the model that's inside. And this one is in the red colours of De Berardinis. Getting it out, there's no assembly to do because the model is complete out of the box. However, in the box are lots of bags of parts. And these get used to embellish and adjust the model, and that includes a set of tools to use. Let's now take a look at the included instruction sheet. And it's comprehensive and starts with how to detach the gooseneck. Further on, it describes how to detach the rear axles from the trailer frame, although most collectors probably won't use that. And other details include gooseneck adjustments and that an alternative kingpin can be fitted. Out of the box there's a couple of bits of packaging to remove, and that includes a tiny bit of tape on the gooseneck adjustment handle. Also included with the model are sets of tie-down chains in 3 different lengths, together with some tiny clips. The comprehensive accessories include spare tyres, some road cones, some replica timbers, oversized load signs although it's not clear how to fit them, safety flags, wheel chocks, and if you're overheated with excitement, a fire extinguisher, plus some spare parts for the gooseneck.
Let's weigh it up again.
The trailer goes onto the weighbridge and it comes in at just over 8 ounces, which is also known as 230 grams. The trailers are number 200-1 De Berardinis, number 200-3 Sid Camp, and number 200-10 Black and Gold. We start by looking at the underside of the trailer, and the landing leg has a metal foot. A particularly nice detail is the mesh flooring between the 2 beams, and as you can see it's a fine mesh and perfectly see-through. And at the end you can see that tyres have a good tread pattern and there are soft mud flaps at the end. At the gooseneck end there are connection points for hoses from the tractor. And along the edge you can see the moniker for De Berardinis, which is Florida's first call. A closer look at the landing legs shows 3 hydraulic pistons with smooth surfaces. Up on top of the gooseneck is a textured walkway, and a very nice touch is the usable tie-down points. The adjustment handle on the gooseneck is finely modelled, and there are some realistic looking chains. Along the beam edges you can see very fine gold pinstripes, and there are more tiny usable tie-down points. The spare wheel is on a nicely formed holder, and on the inside of the deck beams you can see connections, and more hoses and usable tie-downs. The wobble wheel assemblies on the rear axles look really good, and there are hoses running to them, so this whole part has nice realism. The wheels are also very nicely modelled. At the rear there's no license plate, but the lights are very good, and as we've seen the mud flaps are nice and flexible. The Sid Camp trailer has different branding on the gooseneck edge, And the black and gold pinstripe version has the Rogers name, and the very thin gold pinstripes look particularly good on this version. The wheels of the trailer roll very freely, and the landing leg is fully adjustable. The foot pivots, and here we can see it pushed firmly up. And to lower it, we need to get hold of the pad and pull it back down. The hydraulic rams are stiff enough to hold the trailer up. Another pose you might want is to remove the gooseneck, and you start by taking out a pin on the adjustment handle. You then have to turn that handle so it's more or less horizontal, and then you need to remove the 2 pins at the bottom of the gooseneck. These might initially be a little bit stiff to get out, and the one on the inside is more tricky to access. So for this, it's best to make use of the hole at the end of the pin. With the connections released, we can then separate the 2 physical parts, and it takes a little bit of flexing to get the right separation. And then we need to unhook the 2 chains, and also the plug-in hose connections. With that, we have the gooseneck separated from the trailer, and if you want, you could then simulate a pose where the trailer is being loaded. Joining the complete trailer to a tractor is simple enough. Here we have a Heavy Haul Replicas Mack Superliner in De Berardini's colours, and it's an easy connection to get the kingpin into the 5th wheel. After that, we can connect up the hoses, and then the truck and trailer are ready to roll. And it all works effectively as a nice combination. Or if you want, you can add a load, and then also add on the safety flags to get a nice appearance. As we said before, there are a number of accessory parts, and these are all nicely made and detailed, so it gives plenty of flexibility when posing the model. Here's the SID Camp version with a boiler load, although not many boilers have holes in. But still, you can use the supplied chains to get effective tie downs. These are the first trailer models from Heavy Haul Replicas, and the good news is that they are of the same very high standard as their Mack truck models. The flexibility is also enhanced by the number of additional accessories that you get with the model, and if you pair the models up with one of Heavy Haul's Macks, then you can get some great looking display combinations. Overall, these trailers are excellent.